Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your September 2017 general readings. Thank you to those of you who are joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Always thank you for watching, listening, subscribing, sharing, for all your support, feedback, and comments, for watching and following my YouTube channel. Thank you to those of you who continue to keep me so busy with personal one-on-one readings and reaching out for those, to my regular clients as well. As you can see, I'm still here in Poland, although I should be back in the States by the middle of September. As those of you who follow my channel regularly know, I do travel quite a bit, but I work when I travel as well, just the same as I do when I am in my home base in California. So thank you to those of you who keep me so busy everywhere that I go. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't worked with me before, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About or Description button, which has a little bit of information for you. Also my email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do a wide variety of readings: love and romance, compatibility chartings, career, work, and finance, yearly overviews, channeled messages from loved ones, and so on. And I do readings full time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So I'm pretty flexible with timing. I can usually get back with you within the same day of your initial contact. And turnaround time for readings, live or recorded, is usually almost always within a 2-week period of time. We can set something up for you. So if you're interested, email me. We'll go from there. This is a general reading, and there's so many of you watching. Of course, it's not going to resonate the same in the same areas of your life to the same degrees and intensities for everyone watching. Make sure to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well if you know them, and if you can, they may play out a little more predictably for you for this time frame than others, and they may just give you additional insight and clarity into what's going on in your life for the time frame that the reading covers. So we're looking at September 2017. This reading is for the water sign of Cancer, Cancer the Crab, for September 2017. I'm using the Gilded Tarot by artist Ciro Marchetti, which is the deck I typically use for my general readings. Let's see what's in store for our Cancerians for September 2017. We have the Five of Wands, the Ten of Wands. We have Judgment with the Ten of Swords. We have the Four of Swords with the Six of Swords. And we have the Eight of Swords, whoops, with the Empress. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance. We got 2 cards came out again. I had 2 crowning cards come out for Leo as well. Yep, and just like with Leo, I'm going to keep these 2, the World and the Three of Cups, as your crowning cards from the bottom of the deck, which represent overall energy and guidance. So let's just take a look here, Cancer. Looks like some things are coming to an end this month. The source of conflict, argument, competitiveness, perhaps. A situation which has been full of strife and conflict. It looks like it's coming to an end, and it's going to be a month of healing, which is a beautiful thing. Healing is always a positive thing, even though, of course, there's aspects of it that hurt, whether it's on an emotional level, physical level. You can think of recovering from a physical illness or surgery. There may be aspects of it which are painful or challenging, but it's transitional energy, meaning it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And on the other end is wholeness and health. So remember that even when some of the healing process can be painful or challenging. Whether this is in the relationship arena of your life, for some of you it's going to be in the relationship arena, and even under that umbrella, this could be love and romance relationship, it could be friendship, family dynamics. Some of you, this may be in the job, work, career, financial area of your life. There's generally, as I say, there's so many of you watching. For some of you, it's going to resonate in one area of your life. For others, it's going to resonate in another area of your life. The specifics and details of how that resonates is, of course, going to differ from person to person. But as I always say, the energy fundamentally remains the same. So we begin with the Five of Wands and the Ten of Wands. So Wands is fire energy. That's the element which governs the suit. Fiery energy, creative, building, manifesting, power. It's very action-oriented and fluid energy. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict. It can be a card of strife, and conflict can be external conflict with other people, internal conflict with yourself, or a combination of both. It can represent competitiveness. There is a sense of circularness to it. Like endless arguments. If it's arguments, it's like petty arguments, squabbling, the same thing going around and around and around. Nobody winning, nobody losing, but no clear solution, no path either as well. And it usually represents something that's been going on for some time, internal, external conflict as well. For external conflict in terms of arguing with a job or career situation, it could be the same source of your discontent or dissatisfaction. It's not huge, but over time it just gets wearisome. It burdens you down. In relationships, it can represent arguments which aren't, knock down, blow up, the roof coming off, screaming at each other at the top of your lungs kind of argument. I mean, these guys are sparring with each other. They're not out for blood. These are practice weapons, not real weapons. But over time, again, this can become very burdensome and very tiresome and just end up being a bit too much because it just keeps going around and around and around. No solution ever being found, no resolvement. So the Five of Wands is paired with the Ten of Wands. Tens represent the end of cycles, something coming to an end, the culmination or fulfillment of something, just something coming to an end, needing to coming to an end, or being very close to coming to an end. You can see this man is carrying these 10 wands. And I always feel like this card has a kind of an energy of long sufferingness to it. Kind of like maybe he started out with 1 or 2 wands, and then it became 3 wands and 4 wands and 6 wands and 7 wands. And now it's become this cross that he's had to bear, she's had to bear. Over time, it's become something rather burdensome and wearisome. But he's at the end of it. His head is up and he's looking at that destination, that place where he can finally lay these wands down, stand up, take a deep breath, and be free of it. This can represent the end of, so it represents some kind of conflict, source of strife. And I feel like for most of you, it's not all of you, it's been going on for quite some time. This could be in a relationship. It could be a relationship itself. It could be a job situation or a job, work, career itself. It could even, for some of you, be a situation which you've just, like a project or even school or university where you've just had to, invest, work so hard at, spend so much time in, invest so much of yourself in, and it's just become so heavy after a time. Although I think for most of you, it's either a relationship or in the work arena of your life, but it could be a project as well coming to an end or needing to come to it, cycling to an end, the end of conflict, the end of this burden. Some of you, this may be coming to an end in the beginning of September. I pull 8 cards because technically it goes week to week, although time being somewhat fluid, of course, in the divine realms, because time is a human construct. This could be I feel actually like a lot of you, this is either something that has cycled down right now or is recently ended. There's been an ending very recently. And September is more about healing energy, although for some of you, this could be an ending that occurs right at the end of August, beginning of September. I am recording these during the last week of August. So coming to an end, regardless of what area or the specifics of it, it's coming to an end if it hasn't already ended. Next, we have Judgment, Major Arcana card, with the 10 of Swords. So Judgment, a major Arcana card, Fingers of the Divine, as I like to call them, energies of God, Spirit, your universe, angels, and guides. Strong, divine energy, which we have no control over. Guidance and advice as well. Judgment is a call to action, but it's a call to careful action. This is, I often feel this as cautionary advice or guidance. There's always an air of finality attached to judgment, meaning that in a situation, particularly if there's a decision or a choice to be made, be careful about what you choose, what you decide, what path you take, what you set into motion. Make sure you carefully weigh everything out before you decide something or set something into motion. Weigh out the pros and cons. Don't be spontaneous or impulsive, because whatever you decide to do, make sure it's what you really want, because whatever you decide to do, whatever you set into motion, you're not going to be able to reverse or come back from. So make sure that it's what you truly want. And also Judgment would imply too that whatever you choose to do or not to do, that it's in alignment with your own, the highest sense of integrity and honor that you have as well, because that's going to reflect in kind of karmic outcome as well. So no spontaneity or impulsivity in decisions and actions and choices through the month of September, particularly for those of you who are going to be going through or who are going through a healing process, particularly for those of you for whom it's attached to a person or relationship, or perhaps something has ended because of a sense of betrayal of some kind, and that betrayal is going to take a couple of different forms depending on who you are. So Judgment is paired with the Ten of Swords, which Swords is air energy. It's mental, cerebral, intellectual energy, and the energy of this suit is all about what goes on up in our heads: words, ideas, belief systems, outlooks, how we look at things, how that affects the way that we communicate, truth, clarity, insight, higher education and learning. Honor, integrity, but impartiality as well too. And another 10 representing the end of cycle. And it's right next to the 10 of Wands too. So you have two 10s representing endings here. The 10 of Swords is often called the stab to the back card because of the way it's often portrayed in the artwork on tarot cards. It can represent a sense of betrayal. This could be, in a relationship, for those of you for whom this is going to resonate in the relationship area of your life, it could be a love romantic relationship. Perhaps there's been an ending or a breakup recently, or a separation, or it's really rocky because you feel betrayed somehow. Maybe the person betrayed you. Maybe there was cheating or infidelity. Maybe they just turned out to not want the same things that you did, while you thought for quite some time that maybe you were headed in the right direction. You had the same kind of relationship goals or wants or dreams. You're finding out that you're not, and there's a sense of betrayal. I feel that specifically for some of you. In the job, work, career area of your life, I've seen this card sometimes come up if somebody's been suddenly fired or downsized or passed over for a promotion, a situation's turned out differently than what they thought. And it's unexpected. It's something you didn't see coming. So there's a sense of unexpectedness, of betrayal even, or just kind of a really deep, almost crushing sense of disappointment. So paired with the Judgment card, I feel like this is more cautionary advice for those of you who are going through kind of a recovery or healing process from whatever this situation is in whatever area of your life. Again, the specifics are going to vary, but the energy remains the same. Some of you may be tempted to retaliate or be vindictive, or maybe even just on an energetically, on an emotional level, you may feel drawn towards being maybe bitter or cynical or jaded or very closed off or angry or full of hatred. I feel like Judgment for a lot of you is just actually cautioning you in moving through this healing, recovering phase, which overall is a positive energy. Healing is positive. It leads to wholeness and health and happiness and light. Even though there's some aspects of it which may be painful or challenging, it's needful and necessary, and therefore it's part of a positive path of life. But for some of you, again, I feel like Judgment, it's again, don't... try not to feed into any vindictive or retaliatory energy, and try not to feed into, a sense of cynicism or bitterness, particularly those of you for whom this is really quite emotional in terms of what you've invested in a relationship maybe that has ended, and you didn't want it to end, you didn't see it coming. Try your very best to look at it and go, okay, what good can I pull out of this? What positivity can I pull out of this? What did I learn from this? And I don't mean learn like, well, I'm never going to do that again, or I don't believe in love, or, I mean actually learn, like, what did I learn from this? What would I do differently? What can I take from this of value? Because it helps us move through healing processes and difficult endings a little quicker and a little easier. because when we focus only on the negative and feed that, it actually anchors us to the source of our pain, challenge, the ending, and it keeps us stuck there sometimes for a long time when really we want to be moving through this healing recovery process, which is a positive path. So remember that, try not to get stuck in any of that negativity. The positive side of the Ten of Swords is that it's an ending. It's done. Whatever happened to put this man face down on the ground, however challenging, traumatic, painful, it's done. It's over. There's a healing light shining through the swords. It's time to get up, dust yourself off, and begin moving away from this. You can see the sun is rising in the background, a new day is dawning, and the animals are beginning to return to the scene again. The worst is behind you, and it's time to move through and continue to move through the healing process. It's over. New beginnings. It's time to move on. So next to that, we have that message underscored by the next two cards, a couple more swords cards, some more air energy, more of that cerebral, intellectual energy. We have the Four of Swords and the Six of Swords. This combination is all about healing, peace, restoration, taking a time out. The Four of Swords is about rest and respite, taking a temporary time out from any conflict, challenge, maybe even getting away for a little while, going on retreat if you can, or maybe just kind of just taking some time out to heal, to recuperate, recover, maybe gain a different perspective, take a look at it. What did you learn? What are you pulling out of this situation? There may be some of you for whom this reading doesn't resonate at all, because it's almost specifically oriented towards, endings of some nature in some area of your life, something coming to an end, whether that's relationship, it could be spirituality, it could be job, career, work, it could be a project of some kind, relationships, it could be love and romance, best friends, some kind of family dynamic. So I say that because if it doesn't resonate, then check your rising and your moon sign as well, as we always say. So the Four of Swords, this is about taking better care of yourself. This is about taking time out to take care of yourself, because this has taken a lot out of you. It's a card of, taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. Get enough to eat, get enough sleep, rest. Don't engage in any conflict. Maybe even keep a little more to yourself for the month of September. But not deliberately isolate, because I think friendship's going to be important to you as well. But just don't engage in any unnecessary conflict or drama. Allow yourself to move through this healing process. And paired with the Six of Swords, this is also a card of peace, healing, restoration. It's a quieter energy, sometimes a somber energy, but part of the positive path of healing. If you could see the water behind this boat, it would be choppy and wavy and turbulent, representing that conflict that's coming to an end or that has ended. It's a card of sailing into more peaceful waters, calm, placid, harmonious, serene. It's transitional, meaning the worst is behind you. You're not quite to the other shore yet, but you're on your way. Again, she's taking the swords with her. Wherever you go, there you are. Make sure that what you're taking with you is the value, lessons learned. Try not to give any weight or sustenance to bitterness, because I feel like whatever's come to an end has been very challenging, regardless of what area of your life it's manifested in, and how that's affected you emotionally is going to vary in intensity depending on who you are. But I feel like it's been a challenge for you, so try not to take any bitterness or negative feelings with you, because again, it will hinder your healing process and just lengthen the time period which you're going to be starting new beginnings. Now, at or towards the end of but it's a beautiful, lovely energy. It's a quiet energy, healing, restoration, peace, but very positive. No engaging in conflict. And even though I think friendship's going to be important, spending time with really true, good, close friends, I don't think it's a month to go out and party a lot or anything. This is a month of kind of being good to yourself and allowing yourself to move through whatever emotional spaces and phases and anything that you need to. Try not to hold on or anchor yourself or get stuck in any one of those phases. Just allow them to come through and move through them. Beautiful, quiet, lovely, positive, healing energy. And Spirit is definitely supporting you in this with these, let's see, 3 major arcana cards here as well, all about being careful about how you move through healing, being good to yourself, and coming to a place of completion in your life and moving into new beginnings. Towards the end of the month, we have the 8 of Swords with the Empress. So the 8 of Swords, I don't really like seeing too much because it represents being in a place where you feel trapped, held hostage, but it's not really reality based. It's illusionary energy. It's the positive side of the 8 of Swords. You can see she's in the middle, encircled by these swords, held hostage, ringed by them. She's on her knees. She's chained up at the wrist. She's blindfolded. It all implies trapped, no control, victim, vulnerability, but it's not reality based. The space between these swords are plenty wide enough for her to walk through those. Nobody's forced her down on her knees. Nobody's holding her there. The chains which are wrapped around her wrists aren't attached to anything or anyone. She could easily free herself from those, remove the blindfold, see her situation for what it is, which is that she has the ability to remove herself, to break her own chains or his, and to just walk away and be done with this. The only thing that's keeping you anchored to this, chained to this, bound and feel like you're out of control, you don't have the ability to move on, is just the idea that you don't. It's in your own head. It's your own perspective. Remove this perspective. You have the ability to do that. You are in charge. You are a powerful, beautiful, loving human being. Take the blindfold off, see it for what it is, and walk away from this. No one and no situation is worth this energy. You can free yourself from it. You have all the power and control to do so, and you are fully supported by the universe who loves you. And that's echoed with the accompanying card, which is your advice card, which is the Empress, beautiful major arcana card. She's the traditional Earth Mother of the tarot. This is about fertility, new beginnings, the time being right to plant new seeds. It can be about literal fertility. I mean, for a small amount of you, this might be literal fertility. The time of trying to conceive is coming to an end. You might very well be conceiving or finding out that you're pregnant this month, and it represents an end to this ongoing kind of conflict and stress about trying to get pregnant. For others of you, this is about the time being right to plant seeds for new beginnings. It's not a card of completion. The Empress is about beginnings. It's about conception. It's about the time being right to start something new, which you will then nurture, sustain, feed, and grow so that it grows to its full possibility. This is also a card of self-nurturing, just like that 4 of Swords. Be good to yourself. Go out and do some things which make you feel good, even physically or sensually. Walk barefoot in the sand or in the grass, go get a massage, take a hot bath, open a bottle of wine. Be good to yourself, connect more with nature. It's very healing and soothing as well. This is the green light for starting anything new, the beginning of something new, which is the opposite energy of the 8 of Swords. You're not trapped, held hostage, bound up. You're not caught up in the past and all of this pain. It is time for you to move through. No one and no situation is worth that investment of time. The Spirit universe loves you. They want the best for you. They're helping you and cradling you through this moving away process, dealing with this energy of ending and healing, recovering, and moving through into new beginnings, which you are definitely doing. Again, the intensity and details are going to vary depending on who you are and the area of your life that it's reflecting in as well. Overall, it's a beautiful, lovely energy for September 2017. It's healing energy. It's quiet energy. There may be some aspects of it which are challenging or painful, memories even perhaps. Try not to dwell too much on the source of it. It'll keep you chained to it. We want to move through this and away from this, and that's what that lovely healing energy is. It's always a path of needfulness and light, because at the end of it is health and life and renewed optimism, hope, and faith. Your overall crowning cards are the World and the 3 of Cups. Again, again, the world is a card of ending as well. It's the last card in the tarot. It's a card of reaching a milestone, reaching the top, the pinnacle of a mountain, which was pretty significant, and taking time to look back and reflect on where you started and how you got from there to here, and acknowledging everything that it took and how well that you've done. Even if things turned out differently than what you anticipated, you made it through. You're at the top. You're at a milestone. You're at a turning point, a crossroads in your life. You've done well. You did well. Give yourself a hug, a pat on the back. Acknowledge yourself for the beautiful human being that you are. It's going to be important through this healing process as well to take time out for self-acknowledgement, particularly if this is about the ending of a relationship that you felt turned out differently than what you wanted. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change what you want. It doesn't change your potential and capability of having what you want. Take the time to acknowledge that, and acknowledge that you walked the path and that you're here, and consider the potentials of what's moving on, of what's in front of you in the future, because beginnings always follow endings. Birth always follows death. That's the way it goes. There's an ending, there's a healing recovery process, and there's beautiful new beginnings. It doesn't change for anybody. It's going to be the same for you, Cancer. Beautiful. We also have the Three of Cups, which is a card of enjoying yourself with friends, with people, but on a deeper level, it's people that, it's like your close friends, your kinship, your sisterhood, your brotherhood, the people that get you, that you don't have to pretend with, and vice versa. So I think that friendships and close friends and the people that truly love you and get you are going to be important to you throughout the month of September. I think you should take advantage of that and reach out to them and allow them to kind of help you and give you insight and guidance too. I don't think it's really a month where it's advised that you're just going out and partying a lot, but definitely spending time in the company of the people you feel most connected to is going to be really helpful and supportive for you, Cancer. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your September 2017 general readings. Thank you for watching it. I hope it brought you some help, some guidance, some insight, because that's why we do these. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage. If you haven't worked with me before, you can click on that about or description button, which will give you a little more information, and also has my email address, which is maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the September mid-month readings. And until then, Cancer, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.